Yeah, g'day everyone and welcome back to the Gold Coast Titans Frontline Podcast. We're now live all over social media and we want to see those comments roll in, ladies and gentlemen. In some places we can bring them up on the screen and we'll do that. But first, let me welcome my co-host, Russ. How are you, my man?
Yeah, ready for the second week, mate. Been good. Wasn't the result we wanted on the weekend, but I'm guessing we'll be dissecting that and getting into it.
Yeah, it wasn't the result we wanted. It was a little bit disappointing, but we'll get into that and everything more in this show. What we're going to do today, guys, we're going to grade our performance, review the Bulldogs loss. We are then going to give our 3-2-1s, an affiliate recap. We'll talk any team list changes we'd like to see to the team, and then we'll preview our game against the Knights. So plenty of Titan stuff coming up for you all. And whether you're here with us live or listening later as a podcast, we absolutely appreciate the support here in the front line. Let's start off with our weekly grading segment, Russ. I want you to grade our team's performance anywhere from F- to A+. How did you see it?
I'd give it a D-, mate. Straight up. I think all Titans fans here were the first 20 minutes of that game, we lost that game. Straight up. All Titans fans know we lost that in the first 20 minutes. Too many errors, and I'm pretty sure everyone was going, is this the same old Titans? Straight up, everyone would have been going, oh, no, not again. We were 22-0 down in 20 minutes, and that was game over. Straight up. After that, we actually won the game after that, but the game was already lost. We've got 24 points on the board, but a little too late, I think. So, but it wasn't the worst because we could still score points, but that's never really been the Titans' problem. We've always been able to score points. It's always our defense has always been our Achilles heel, and I really feel like it let us down again in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes was particularly disappointing. Some of the tries as well were just plain soft. Like, I don't think there's too much more analysis to add. The Josh Curran one and the Kurt Mann ones, for example, like you should just not be going
off a tap, man. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it was very schoolboyish, dare I say. Look, I'll give us a D+. I think it was somewhat close to a pass mark. Under the circumstances that I expect the Bulldogs to be a top 4 side this year. When you factor in they lost Matt Bird in the first half, I agree with you, then it probably does drop more to a D-. But if we just go off the fact that I expect the Bulldogs to be a top 4 side this year, and we did have some nice moments, I can give us a D+.
Our left side attack looked good. Like going Kelly, Camper, we looked good. Like we scored 2 quick tries down that wing, and we looked good. But how bad would it have been if Burton didn't go off?
Yeah, that's honestly, that's a fair question to ask. We don't know. Like, it could have got a lot up.
We only started scoring our points when their kicking game went out. His kicking game, we didn't put the pressure on him. He had all the time in the world, and we only started scoring points when he went off.
Yep. So, and that was almost as if the Bulldogs were like a little bit shell-shocked. Like, oh my God, this is a key injury. What do we do now? But they quickly composed themselves, so credit to them there. I think I'll finish on this. It was very disappointing, as you said. We got a lot of complex things right. Some of our ball movement was really good. And then we just fell short in some really basic areas, and most notably defense. So let's move on to the game review specifically. We lose to the Bulldogs at Belmore Sports Oval, 40 points to 24. And let's kick it off, Russ, by asking you and our live viewers, if anyone wants to drop a comment, we will be able to bring it up on screen or react to it as we go. We are live. What was your biggest takeaway from the game for you, Blake?
My biggest takeaway, mate, Tino's back. Tino was leading from the front, and I'm pretty sure he'll be both of our 3 points for 3-2-1 today. It was good just to see him back, getting in, doing the hard work, and also getting a meat pie. That's encouraging because he is our team captain, and I feel like he really needed that performance.
I'll say this, and I'll start with this. I think for the Bulldogs, one thing I underestimated at least was the fact this could be the last time they play at Belmore for the next 3 years because they have a proposal to the state government to upgrade the entire facility. And it was jam-packed with fans. So perhaps in our analysis in the preview of this, we did discount how it could be the last time the Bulldogs play there in several years. And certainly they showed up. But for me, the absolute biggest takeaway, if I could only take one thing away from this game, it was our start to both halves of football. We conceded a try, Russ, in our first set of defense in both halves.
We did.
That is like, I can laugh about it because it's round.
And wasn't it off mistakes both times?
Yes. We put ourselves under pressure. That was a silly thing.
Just silly mistakes, eh? Like
under 10 stuff. Like you can't be doing that. It's utterly unacceptable for a pro sports team to do that. It reminded me of like in under 10s where you give it to the B kid and he runs over everyone and scores off the kickoff.
Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't the best. To that point as well, Josh Curran's try and Kurt Mann's tries.
That Josh Curran try was way too soft. We should not be getting a tap from the 10-meter line, and he should not be scoring. We had 4 defenders on him.
It was poor technique and poor effort. That much is obvious. But let me ask you, was it the softest try you've ever seen in the NRL?
It's got to be up there, eh?
Honestly, I think it does.
It's got to be up there.
It was very poor. Like, he just strolled over.
Yeah.
I mean, I can laugh about it, man, because it's round 1. But imagine if that happened when we were playing for a place in the finals.
Oh.
I would not be laughing right now.
No, you'd be like, we don't deserve to be there. If we're letting in tries like that, honestly.
100%. That was a very bad try. It was. Looking back at our keys to victory for this game, yours was to shut down their left edge of Burton and Kikau.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they were both injured during the game, so it's probably not fair to draw a comment from you as to how effective we were there. So I'll go to my key to victory. I'll ask you and our live listeners, how do you think our forward pack held up? My key to victory was them really getting over the line for us and fighting for everything. Do you think they achieved that?
Not really. I feel like we could have do a lot better. I actually feel like our 2 props, Mo and RCG, they just didn't have the same impact as the Bulldogs props. Like Max King and stuff were getting in, doing a lot more work. I only feel like the forward, Bo had a good game in second row. But then again, we're gonna talk about this. Where was Fafita? Why did it take 50 minutes to get our $1 million second rower onto that field? Obviously, we know Tino killed it. But I actually wasn't that impressed with our front 2. I actually feel like we went a bit better when Jamin Jolliffe came on. So I don't know what you reckon, but...
Well, I actually liked Brock Gray from the bench. I know he had very limited...
He had impact as well,
Yeah, he had some aggression. It was awesome. We've got J-Lad's comment on the screen. Shout out to J-Lad. He was a big part of the podcast last year. Awesome to see him back this year. But he does say Sammy Verrills Q Cup. Now, we don't want to single out players, of course. That's not the aim of the podcast. But do you think a tactical switch with maybe Chris Randall starting at 9 could be an option for us moving forward?
I feel like it could be an option because Chris Randall can play anywhere, and I feel like he needs to be in that 13 somewhere. And I don't think we can move Tino out of lock. So I guess that's the only other position I could probably play him, and it could be somewhere we do utilize him in the future. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think it's an option. It's an option, but I probably wouldn't pull the trigger just yet. I'll give Sammy Verrills another game to bounce back.
100%. 100%.
Whilst we can say he was poor, there was definitely some other poor players in that game as well. Back to the forwards and how they went. Now, I actually thought the forwards started okay, but then gradually fell away. And I do want to put part of that blame on our outside backs because there were some errors that put us under pressure and really zapped our energy in what we were trying to do. Now, coming into this game, of course, what we didn't know was there'd be a heat wave in Sydney, and it would be extremely fatiguing.
34 degrees yesterday when they yesterday. So when they went on the field, it's probably still 30.
Yep. And I heard the NRL was really close to doing it in quarters as well. That's how close it was. Really close. So the Bulldogs' mobile, smaller forward pack, they controlled the ball a little bit better. They didn't have as many silly errors as us, and you couple that with a higher completion rate. And it did kill our energy fast. We did gas fast. We defended not too bad in some parts, but then that fatigue added up to the point where we were making silly errors and just missing plain tackles, like to go back to Josh Curran again. But why it really upset me, and I'll get your word on this, is we're at our best when we throw caution into the wind and we take chances. But due to that fatigue, we kind of went into our shells a little bit. We're like, we're making errors coming out of our own end. Let's play it nice and safe. And we went cautious in attack. And we went too conservative. And I don't feel that's our strength at all as a side. Did you feel that when you were watching the game as well?
Yeah, a bit. And like you said, like when we're throwing the ball around, that's when we play our best footy. Like we spread it out left twice and we broke them actually really easily. Like I think we go from a scrum and it went from Fermor to Kelly to Loffy, Pereira. And we did it twice and we did it so easily. And so the best way we're playing footy is when we're actually spreading the ball. And I feel like Kinney had that awesome break, but in that first half, he didn't get the freedom to do that. Like he didn't have space. He couldn't do anything. He was very isolated. And that's pretty much because of, I feel like it's the kicking game of Burton in that first half because he did, and their forward pack, they were like crushing us. He didn't have any time. Our backs didn't have any time to like do anything. So I don't know what you reckon, but.
Well, I can add to that, man. I felt that they absolutely dominated us in the ruck rather. And it wasn't, and when people say that, they won the ruck, typically you're implying they were doing something illegal. I'm not suggesting that at all. The Bulldogs deserved it because they were dominant tackles and they just simply controlled us on the ground. You could see it. The tackle was kind of held. We were maybe on our side. And every time the Bulldogs' small mobile forward pack would bend over our big forwards, get them on their back and make sure that our big props had to fully get up, roll over, slow down the momentum perfectly. But they earned it because it was a dominant tackle. As much as I want to see a quick ruck for us, I can't turn around and say that was illegal. So credit to the Bulldogs there. Got a comment rolling in here from Brandon Savage, host of the Super Coach Experience. He says, do you think the Titans need to get rid of Kelly? Attacking-wise, he's amazing, but defensively, he always has issues with his reads. And do the Titans need a more defensive approach considering they have so many attacking weapons already? I'll go to you first, Ross.
This is always a lot of Titans fans always say this about Kelly, and they do say like he has his attacking, like he's an attacking weapon. We know that, and he does have his defensive errors, and he does lack a mistake every now and then. Desi loves Brian Kelly, and I feel like we always say this round 1 or round 2, he always has a terrible game, but then round 3, he's amazing, and everyone's a big Kelly fan again. I don't know what we do with him. I'm a big Brian Kelly fan, but yes, sometimes I go, Brian, what are you doing? I think he dropped the ball inside our 10 on the first play, which conceded one of their first tries in the first 20 minutes. But I don't know. I don't know what we do there.
I think people always categorize Brian Kelly as a rocks or diamonds player.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the reality is, in my opinion, his form goes off how we play. When we have a good game, Brian Kelly has like 200 plus meters, multiple tackle breaks, offloads, and he might get 1 or 2 things wrong. When we play bad, I think that's when he stands out because he still goes for the riskier plays.
He does.
I don't think we get rid of Kelly, though. I think Kelly has earned that spot. Let's not forget he was the players' player last year, so the players voted him as the best player.
2 years. Oh, yeah, last year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Last year. So they definitely love playing with him. But what I will say to finish my answer on that response, Brandon, is we've got a really good 19-year-old called Sam Stevenson who played for the Maroons under 19s last year. He will be our long-term centre on that side. And then it will be between Sammy, potentially Carter Gordon, BK, all fighting it out for that other centre spot there.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's look back at the game and let me ask you, is there any areas you really want to see improved, or where do you think we're at our absolute worst? I'll give you mine first.
Okay.
Sorry, no, you go first.
I feel like we both know it's just our basic fundamentals. Like, honestly, like just dumb errors, man. We both know that. Like the rest of the game, like, and our defense, we got to tighten up our defense. We know that. But like our attack's fine. We don't need to change our attack. Attack's fine, but just dumb errors.
Yeah, mine was our first 10 minutes. And you said errors. We had four errors in the first 10 minutes, guys.
We just didn't complete a set.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we got 1 penalty in that first 10 minutes, and they dropped it second play.
Yeah.
As soon as we're attacking. We didn't attack for 25 minutes.
Yeah. The average set goes for what? Just under a minute? So in the first 10 minutes, if we had 4 errors and we're assuming 50% possession, that's 1 completed set. What also made it, what added on the pain there was we missed 9 tackles as well.
Yep.
So I'm just left coming out of this game like, come on, boys. We had some bright spots and some bright patches throughout that game. But instead of patches, let's come out and set the tone early, set the pace of the game, set the intensity, not give our opponent a leg up and waste a lot of energy on defense, which I felt we did. Yep. I spoke on the Bulldogs wrestle in the ruck. I thought that was really dominant. And I think our larger forward pack weren't able to replicate that on some of their smaller guys because they're just a bit more mobile. They were getting to their feet nice and early. Look, final thoughts from me. There were some positives in competing with the Doggies side that are expected to play finals. Whether you think they're top 4 or top 8, I think most people would say
5th or 6th. Yeah, they're going to be up there. They'll be in the 8. Yeah.
And we've shown some good moments and competed with them. But at the same time, the areas we fell really short in are completely unacceptable, and they were schoolboy mistakes. But if I can, I might rephrase that as a positive because they were such simple errors. It shouldn't take too much to correct. Like, I don't imagine Josh Curran is going to score a trial like that every week against us. It was really soft. We can correct it.
I don't think he's ever going to score like that again.
Mate, that was that was the softest try. Put a bow on it for us though, mate. What are your final thoughts on the week that was?
Yeah, just we got to start again, man. Like, just it wasn't a good start. Like, just put a nail through it and start again. Hopefully we can turn up this week. Just if I was Des, I'd be saying, all right, let's complete our first 5 sets. Don't worry about scoring. Let's just complete them.
Yep, I like that. Just get in the game.
Just complete them. Don't worry about being fancy. Just hold the ball, complete your sets. 5 sets.
Yep. get rid of those pre-game nerves. I really like that. I think that's something that is definitely achievable for us. It's a good place to start. Alrighty, let's give out our 3-2-1s. So if you are new to the Titans Frontline podcast, every game we give out our 3-2-1s and we get a physical medal created, and the best NRL and NRLW player get that medal on behalf of the Frontline, which if you guys aren't familiar, it's the official Titans supporter group since 2007. 3 points. No shocks who you're going to go with, but who gets your 3 points from this game?
Tino, 100%. I'm sure you'll be the same. He was easily he had a captain's knock there. He easily led the team, and he was the only one that really showed a bit of art, I reckon. 2 points I'm giving to Beau Fermor. I feel like he was solid, didn't really make many mistakes, was trying the whole time. I think he ran for about 100 and something meters. I feel like he was good. And my 1 point I was going to give to Phil Sami. I feel he ran over 200 meters. It's hard to give a 1 point. I didn't really know who to give it to. I was looking at AJ Brimson, but he had 7 missed tackles. So I was sort of like, oh, yeah. So I'd go Phil Sami. I feel like he still did a lot out of his own end, ran for over 200 meters. So we'll give him the 1 point.
Yeah, nice. That's what I like about Phil Sami's game as well. Whether he's playing centre or wing, he comes in and does the hit-ups for us and gives our forwards a break. My 3 points goes to Tino. Effort, intensity, and intimidation factor. We spoke about getting over their forward pack because they are smaller. Well, Tino bumped off them maybe 3 or 4 times in this game and sent them flying.
He had quite a few, eh?
Yeah, he was breaking.
And that's what we need. That's what we need. We need those offloads. And so then our players like Kinney and JC can get around. You know what I mean? That's what we need. So Tino was the only one really doing that. Yep.
The tackle breaks, the offloads, they are all going to add up for us. My 2 points goes to Beau Fermor. Classic workhorse performance. Yep. Dare I say, and I think fair people might agree with this, he probably has overtaken Dave as our best back rower. I think Dave still has the better X factor, but Beau certainly gets through.
Dave didn't really get an opportunity, did he?
Not in this game. No, I'm not comparing them just strictly off this game. I think if you consider, where they're both at, though, I reckon Beau's ahead of him on form at the moment.
I would go with that. Yep.
And my 1 point, AJ Brimson, I think he definitely tried hard. His execution was off in some areas in offense and defense, but he was always backing up. He was always trying, and I just appreciated the effort. Happy to.
It would have been good if he got his slam dunk try.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on that? Do you think he was hit high? Because if that was in general play and he wasn't going for a try and you're hit high and you drop the ball like that, surely we would have got the ball back.
Would have been a penalty, but
it would have been a penalty. But because it was a try-scoring situation and he just kind of fumbled it and the hit wasn't that hard. I mean, there was a few times I could criticize the referee in the game. There's no point. We lost by too much of a significant margin for it to matter.
The ref didn't change the outcome of the game. There's no way.
100% agree. People are commenting about Brock Cement Gray. I love that. Toddy, we don't have an update on Gordon Carter. Unfortunately, we do want to see him back as soon as possible. But no update there just yet. Let's go into our affiliates recap. So Ipswich Jets had a bye, so we're only looking at our Tweed Seagulls. Yep. They did defeat the Northern Pride 20-16, which in my view is a pretty significant win when you think that the Pride had Robert Darby and Zach Labour, 2 Papua New Guinea internationals, Jake Clifford and Jeremiah Nanai drop back. So we beat a pretty good side there, mate. I'll ask you straight away, which one of our affiliate players stood out to you in this one?
Jacob Alec-Winky. Pretty sure he had ran for about 150 meters. Did he have a try or a try assist?
He had a try, the big fella.
He had a try. Obviously, he's one of our fringe players, so that's always looking good. Tony Francis as well had a big game. He's another one of our fringe players. Will probably get a couple games this year. He ran for over 200 meters. So all of our players that have played a bit of first grade, they looked good. So.
Yeah, they did. So I'll read you guys out the stats so everyone's got them at home. Tony Francis had 156 meters, 2 tackle breaks, 5 tackles for 0 missed. Tommy Weaver, he had a great game. 2 try assists, 120 meters, 3 tackle breaks, 1 line break assist, 15 tackles for 4 missed, and 343 kick meters. So really complete performance there from Tommy. Tukey Simpkins, our recruit this year who came from the North Devils, 17 hit-ups for 169 meters, 3 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, and 30 tackles for 5 missed. Jacob Alec-Winky, he had a try, 111 meters, 3 tackle breaks, 1 line break, 2 offloads, 20 tackles for 2 missed. And for me, the standout player was actually Tukey Simpkins, Russ. I just think he's a huge chance to break into our side because, as you said, we need those offloads and tackle breaks.
3 offloads. As soon as you said that, I was like, wow, I missed that. Like, that's huge.
Yeah. And he's another guy like Thomas McKaylee that debuted at the Tigers during their rough spot, didn't shine all that much, got dropped to reserve grade, and then found himself in reserve grade last year. Won the premiership off the bench for North Devils. Had a great season, 150-plus metres average. So he's knocking on the door, I think. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, well, why those stats? 100% he is, yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. And on another note, guys, Sam Stevenson, the 19-year-old centre we spoke about before, he scored in the first minute of the Mal-Meninga Cup, and Zane Harrison, our promising young halfback, scored as well. Unfortunately, the Mal-Meninga Cup, which is Jersey Flegg equivalent of Queensland Cup, they don't do specific player stats, but I can tell you Tweed did win that game against Brisbane Tigers, 32 points to 14. So all round, a great week for all of our affiliate players. Both of our affiliate grades there get a win. So some positives to take from the week.
We got something there, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit to take from that. Let's look forward. So we're recording this on a Monday for anyone that's listening back as a podcast, and we don't know what the team list will be until 4 p.m. on Tuesday. So let's leave everything we've spoken about in the past and look forward towards the future now.
Yep.
Team list come out tomorrow. Any changes you'd like to see to our 17, keeping in mind the Alofiana Khan-Pereira has been sent for a calf strain. If he's unavailable, who comes in? Any other changes you like as well?
I think Tony Francis probably comes in. I'm guessing if Loffy's out. I don't know. I don't know what Des could do. Knowing Des, he could maybe move Beau Fermor to centre and move Sammy to the wing. So we don't know what he will do, but I think he will go Tony Francis. Any other changes? Yes. Let's start Dave Fafita.
Yep.
I don't think he'll change too much, to be honest. It's round one. Maybe Dave Fafita, man. Like, he's got to be on there. Like, he's our explosive player. Like, what's he doing? Like, the game was already lost. We were losing. He came on with 30 minutes to go. He couldn't change the game. He couldn't do anything. Like, it was already over. Like, I don't know. It's
a tough spot for Dave too, because fans expect him to come off and be able to change the game because he's done it in the past. But the reality is the highlights that he has in the past, they're not sustainable in the NRL. You can't do those sort of plays every week.
No way.
You just can't. I'm actually thinking now for the wing, instead of Tony Francis coming in, could we do something where we play Jalen de Groot as well on the wing and have 4 attacking fullbacks? Or maybe I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself.
Are we taking the piss now? 4 fullbacks on the field.
That could be fun to watch. It could be disastrous as well.
Yeah.
So. But the other note I had
attacking side, like our left side is our dominant side. So I wouldn't be surprised if he puts Phil Sammy there. I don't know. I could be wrong, but
yeah. And the other thing with Desi is whatever team list you get on 4 p.m. on Tuesday, you're probably not going to get it on game day.
It's going to change. It's going to change. Yep.
Yeah. Mia says Tony comes in for Loffy. I think Tony Francis is definitely.
I think that's the obvious choice. Yeah.
One change I think I might not mind for this game is if Leo Thompson is out for the Knights, and we know Kai Pearce-Paul's suspended as well, I think that could be a little bit short in the middle and in their forward pack. Mm-hmm. So I would keep Tino at lock. But if Leo Thompson notably is there, then I would prefer Chris Randall starting at 13 and either Mo or RCG dropping back to the bench. I'd just rather have 2 genuine big body front row rotations, so I feel comfortable. Whereas we kind of threw our shots at the Bulldogs in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, it didn't work, and then we had 3 fatigued middle forwards and only 1 fresh one coming off the bench. So depending on what side the Knights put out, that's an option. I already asked you about Dave Fafita on the bench. I agree with that. Benjamin McCosker from Facebook says Dave had a shot and he didn't do much. He should stay on the bench. Yeah, but I think Ben, if he starts that game, he probably is presented with more opportunity. It's really tough to come on when the game's slipped away.
It's hard because that first, he would have been involved in that first 20 minutes where he couldn't have done anything either. But when we were that far down, I don't know why he didn't just come straight on going, get on now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not wait.
Yeah, we didn't change it.
The game. The game was over. So I actually didn't think I didn't think Dave played that bad when he came on. I feel like he was trying the best he could, but it was just a little too late.
One thing that frustrated me about how we were using Dave as well was line balls. Like, he'd get the ball and the defense was right there to meet him. Guys, give Dave a wind up. Hit him early. Let him run 10 meters so that he's got that momentum and he can break a tackle or offload. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from there, Ben, but I also don't want to be too critical of Dave just given the circumstances.
You can't criticize him off that performance. That was not his fault.
Yep, exactly right. Let's look ahead now, man. We've got a game to preview. Saturday, 7:35 p.m. versus the Knights. We're back home at Seabus Super Stadium, our first home game of 2025. But we are coming up against a really strong Knights side that has started.
They looked good against the Dolphins.
They did. So I'll go to you and our live viewers as well. Remember, we are live. We'll try to bring some comments up and react to them. What is everyone's predictions for this game? Over to you, Russ.
I don't know. So I watched them the first game against the Tigers, and I wasn't that impressed. I thought it was like the worst game of the round when they round one, the Knights. Second round, they impressed me. I feel like Kalen Ponga is playing fullback, but pretty much playing a 7 as well, controlling the troops around. So if we're going to win, we're going to have to. It's obvious. Everyone's going to say, but you have to stop him. But the other player that really needs to be stopped is Fletcher Sharp. That guy is everywhere, and they actually play very similar to like our halves. Like Fletcher Sharp's another fullback, so their spine players are very similar to what our spine players are. They're playing with fullbacks. They're playing with 2 fullbacks that are dominating, and they were finding a lot of line breaks. Another player that stood out for me that we'll need to shut down is Dylan Lucas as well. He makes a lot of breaks. So that their left side is their dominant side again. We have to shut that left side down.
Mm-hmm. When I break this one,
Yep. Without Kai Pearce-Paul, which is what plays on their right, they're definitely going to be more left side focused as well. So that's 100% they're going to go that side. Yeah, no, certainly a great shout. So their left side winger, I think that's Greggy Marzu. So we need to mark up on our former player there. Yep. This is a similar one to the Bulldogs for me, where it's certainly winnable. But I think if you were in a tipping competition, you probably wouldn't take us. We're probably just below a 5 out of 10 chance. When you look at it objectively and you strip away the bias and the fact we all want the Titans to win. Now, they went 2-0 over us last year. One was in Magic Round and one was in Newcastle late in the season. But we actually do have a great record over the Knights at Seabus. So since 2016, they've only beaten us there once, and that's from 10 games. Yep. So they have struggled on the Goldie. And I really would love this year if we could build a fortress at home, reward our fans that pay their hard-earned to rock up at Seabus. And that's where we struggled last year. We won most of our games away than home.
Yeah, we did. You're right.
Yeah, we should be making it more of a fortress. We did play them round 26 last year, which we were already knocked out. They were playing. Was it round 26? Yeah.
I believe it was, yeah.
They were playing for finals because they went on and won their last round to get into the finals and the 8th spot. So they absolutely pumped us. What was it, 34-16 or something? I looked 14.
It wasn't pretty.
I'm pretty sure that was Kalen Ponga and Fletcher. I'm pretty sure Fletcher Sharp got a hat trick in that game. So but that wasn't that long ago, but we didn't really have anything to play for. I just hope we can bounce back, man. Like, honestly, like that's what we need to do. If you look at their 2 opponents, like Tigers had a good win on the weekend. Tigers and Dolphins, I don't have them in my 8, so I don't think they were like 2 like strong opponents that they're versed. I feel like Bulldogs are a stronger opposition out of those 2 teams. So I don't know. Like I feel like we can be competitive this game, and I feel like we could win this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat there. I'll give you my key to victory. Now, I've kind of got 2 this week. Number 1, and this is what you touched on, where they do have a very similar spine to us at the moment with multiple fullbacks attacking, is control the football, because whichever side has the most attacking opportunities will probably win this game. Because both sides are going to be throwing that offensive-orientated football, it's going to fatigue defenses quicker. So we need to hold the pill. Simple as that. But I also expect them to be short on middle forwards. Now, Leo Thompson is reportedly injured with an MCL. He'll be out for 4 weeks, I've heard. And Kai Pearce-Paul has been suspended. So our forwards have a chance here against a depleted Knights pack to really stand up at home and, in my view, make some amends for what happened in the opening round. They can absolutely win this game for us. Make no mistake. And I know it's a classic saying in rugby league, the forwards will win us this game and our outside backs will decide how much. They both have an equally important job to do.
Yep.
But our forwards, it needs to start with them, in my view, mate. What are your keys to victory? What's something you really want to see us execute or nail in this one?
I said it earlier. I want us to complete our first 5 sets and just get the ball rolling. So just stop with the errors. Like, we just need to clean it up. Don't worry about scoring points early on. Just completing our set and really shutting down that left side.
Absolutely love it, mate. Look, as for my prediction, I'm going to say it's a winnable game for us. I think if we correct some of those basic errors from last round, which I don't think will take let me say this. It's not our errors and mistakes last round weren't things you need to drill for weeks on end at training to fix up. It's just between the ears, just a mindset thing. So if we can get the mindset right in this one, I think we can win by 10 points or so. So for my prediction in this game, I'm going to say Titans set the tone in our first home game. We've got a run under our belt now. We blew the cobwebs out in round 1, and we're going to beat the Knights by around 6 to 12 points, mate. What's your prediction?
All right, let's go. We're going to win by 6 points.
Yep.
2014.
Love it, mate. And what about a score prediction? Anyone you're looking at for try scorers you think could cross for a try here?
Who's getting over? I reckon Jaden Campbell.
Big JC. I love it, mate. I'm going to go Bowie Fermor. A lot of people don't know this. He's actually a former Knight. He was their Jersey Flag Player of the Year when we signed them. And I loved his energy and effort around the ball last round. Obviously, it didn't pay off. We didn't get the result. But, I love Bo's effort last round. And he deserves a try. He deserves to be rewarded with one.
Too. Yeah.
And I think if our spine clicks and we correct those errors, we'll get a lot more opportunity with the ball, a lot more attacking chances. So I can see Big Bono's crossing for a try there, and absolutely hope he does. Yeah. All right, everyone. That is our first ever Gold Coast Titans Frontline Podcast live show completed for you all. We'll be aiming to be live around the 6:30 p.m. mark on New South Wales time, 5:30 p.m. Queensland, every single Monday for you to break it all down. And if you missed the live show, well, it's also going to be uploaded to Spotify and Apple. So please share the show around and help us grow the Frontline, guys. With that in mind, we will see you all next week, ready to do it all again. Thanks for your time, Ross, and have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Go Titans.
Go the Titans. Boom.